Hello introverts of the world, my name is Cody Wolf, and a while back I made a video about me using a random name generator to make warrior cat OCs, and I wanted to make a long overdue sequel for it. However, I didn't want to do names again. So I had an idea. What if I took Pokémon and made them into warrior cats? Maybe it's cause the Scarlet and Violet starters got me in a Pokémon mood team Quaxley. But I want to give that a try and add a twist to this series. Now unlike that video I don't have footage of me choosing the Pokémon, so I'm gonna leave the selection up here. Alakazam, Rhyperior, Gogoat, Castform, Cleffa, and Gible. You're gonna have to take my word that these were randomly picked. You trust me, right? Right? Alrighty then, let's get on with it. Now I decided to make Cleffa an apprentice, since I felt like I would have a lot less creative liberties making a kit, and although it doesn't make much sense in terms of warrior evolution like hit, apprentice, whatever they want to do, I don't really care. Now Cleffa is a fairy-type Pokémon and the start of the Cleffable line. It's noted as the star-shaped Pokémon, which looking back would have been funny to make Cleffa the leader cause of this, but another time. A lot of her dex entries call back to the star motif, with people thinking Cleffa is a meteor and Cleffa being found near meteor crashes. So for the design I decided to use an off-white almost pink color for the base and use the brown on the ears for star-shaped freckles, the ears, and just some spots on her paws. Not a lot, but she was fun to work with. And because of this meteor motif I dubbed this catified Cleffa Meteor Paw. I also gave the apprentice treatment to Gible, for reasons I explained in Cleffa's part. Gible's dex entries didn't give me much to go off of design-wise, only mentioning how Gible liked to hide in holes to escape cold climates. For the base color I went with a light grayish blue, a darker tone for the patches of tabby stripes, since I made him a torty tabby thing, and an even darker shade of that for the stripes and the rings on his tail to represent the rings Gible has on its little missile ears. I made the hair tuft slick-backed to look like a shark fin and went with a ginger color for the muzzle and stomach. However, I end up changing that to a more diluted, almost cream color since that looked better. Because of Gible's association with dust and caves and such, I shall call this kitty cat Dustpaw. Now, I was very excited to get Gogoat in this lineup. Out of all of the Pokémon I got, Gogoat is my favorite. I actually like a lot of the Unova Pokémon. Furfrou and their haircuts are fabulous, Scatterbug is adorable, and Aurorus is my favorite S-type Pokémon. Anyways, I originally had very different plans for Gogoat, but a lot of them I had trouble translating. Like I was originally going to have him covered in moss to represent, well, the moss on him, and he was going to be much more scraggly. However, I tried out the beard idea, which I found courtesy of some fan art of Edith Clawthorne's dad, and now he looks like a grandpa. I gave him some fluff around his paws to act as fetlocks and a small tail to be accurate to the Pokémon. His name is Mospeak, in reference to Gogoat's mossy and grassy look along with the mountain ranges or peaks Gogoats hang around. So I ended up having a lot more fun than I thought I would with Castform. I at first struggled to get an idea on how I'd incorporate all of Castform's weather variants, but it turned out to be a lot more fun with this wacky design. I'm especially proud of the chest fluff that looks like Castform's hail form. I used a darker shade of Sunny Day Form's orange for some tabby torty marking, and a very dark, almost black, blue for the accent markings. I also went ahead and put a sun and a cloud on their chest since it was looking a bit plain. I'm a little disappointed I couldn't incorporate any freckles or spots to look like snow, but that just ended up cluttering the design. I'm also not too keen with the name since it doesn't fit Warrior Cat naming systems. But it was either Forecast or Witherball, and I liked Forecast more. And hey, if a kitten can be named One Kit, for Kit isn't out of the realm of possibility. Rhyperior was a little difficult for me since I didn't know how I wanted to interpret the plates around him. Eventually though I landed on making them scars. Same with his horn as represented by a giant scar over his face. Now I don't mean to pruffle, but he looks like the bad guy. Like out of all of the characters I've shown you, who do you think is the villain? If you said anything other than this one, you're wrong. Anyways, I actually liked how he turned out. I used a similar gray like Rhyperior has for the base color with some lighter gray accents on the paws to act as his little two things. I made his eyes a bit orange than red since, well, he looked too much like a villain already. We don't need to give him red eyes to add one it. Rhyperior's dex entries talk about how he shoots rocks from the cannon things in his arms and hands, so I thought it was only appropriate to name him Rocksling. So Alakazam, the final Pokémon. Right off the bat, I am so proud of this pose I did for him. I wanted him to look regal, and I think I succeeded. Anyways, his design actually wasn't that difficult. I went with making him leader since he was the first Pokémon in this lineup and it just fit. I went with a lighter yellow, almost cream base color with tips his mustache and tail a slightly lighter shade. I wanted to incorporate his spoon in there somewhere, so I just went with a similar marking on his forehead. His name was honestly the most difficult part. I almost went with Dream Star since Alakazam can learn Dream Eater, but Alakazam isn't really associated with sleep. In fact, he's associated with his Massivic. In the end, I went with Psy Star since he is the Psy Pokémon. Not too proud of the name, but I'm on a deadline here. And that's all of them. Here's the original team and the final product. Honestly, love all of these designs and I'm proud of what I managed to do. Now concluding the last video, I made an animatic of all of the characters I made in their clan. However, since I'm already working on 2 other animatic projects, I decided to go with short and sweet clips featuring the characters instead. Hope you enjoy them.
is the sonorous war cry of a very angry frog. Ferocious.